I'm David O'Connor, and I'm a member of the Angels Gate High Railers. We have a permanent layout we run for the park, for the City of Los Angeles at Angels Gate Park. And my house is very close to the park, so my 3-car garage with no cars is where we build most of the stuff that goes on the layout. Also, I like to build my own locomotives. We do that here as well.
This is the last locomotive I finished, and my first experimentation with using mixed materials. The boiler's 1-inch PVC pipe, laminated with some styrene to get the right diameter. Came from Home Depot. Also got lucky here with the research part. There are a lot of photographs of this locomotive on the internet. And again, a B&O employee wrote an article in Model Railroader, 6 parts on how to make this. This is a kit. It was primarily a 2-rail kit. It's an old All-Nation Mountain, USRA, and I've modified this one pretty heavily. I've cut a lot of brass off of it. I've added a lot of new parts. People were saying you couldn't run this one on 3 rails. I'd have to hog away the cylinders and do a bunch of things, and you don't need to do any of that. The drawbar tends to be a little bit longer to give it more compliance with the tender, but beyond that, I didn't have to make any compromises. Now, what I've done is filed off all of the sandcast details and then added lost wax parts. You take a part that you want to make, and you make a mold of it, and in that mold you pour wax. So you get that part in wax. And then what you do is you mold plaster around it. You heat the plaster, the wax runs out. So now you've got a cavity of the part you want. At that point, you pour your metal into it. It's an ancient technique. Unlike a lot of other models, the locomotive model has to run well. So you do have to put a lot of thought into the mechanism. It's the first part that gets built. The frame is usually just 2 brass bars. There are U-shaped holes milled into it to hold the axles. All the rods have to be machined. All the valve gears cut out with just a jeweler's saw and filed into shape. At that point, you need to run it, test it. The hardest part is probably the rods and the axle holes. They have to match to about 5/1000 of an inch if the thing's going to rotate properly. There's no rivet detail on this, no detail of any kind. This is a 5mm brass stock. It's soft. You find brass listed as soft, half hard, and hard. So this is very flexible stuff. And I've started to press some rivets into it. And you can make a very good row of rivets without any kind of complex measuring devices. It requires, some skill, some patience. Some people think, I can do that, and they get frustrated. Now, when I do something with a locomotive model that I've never done before, I make more parts than I need. And right away I said, the first 2, they're junk. It's a learning experience, and they're going in the garbage. And then I don't get frustrated.